Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sit Down with Stephen. I'm your host, Stephen Meadows, as usual. And today I am joined by two very special guests. First, we have Harry Yazbek, our Regional Vice President of Sales. He is also the sales manager for the Cumberland office and recently has taken on a more in-depth role for the Panhandle and Virginia offices. So I'm excited to have Harry. And we're also going to be hearing from Joanne Cembrook, who is our new area manager in the Panhandle region. So she is going to be over the three Panhandle offices alongside Harry. So they're going to talk a little bit about themselves, give you some insight into their background and some of their goals for the Panhandle offices and company at large. So thank you both for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to start with Harry. So Harry, just give us kind of a brief overview of your background. I know it's hard to do brief because you've been in it for so long, probably as long as I've been alive. But we would love to hear what got you into real estate and some of the things that you've done.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Just for the record, I have been in for a long time, but I started when I was a baby. I started in this business in 1983. It was total by accident. I was 17 years old and I was working at a gas station. A guy came in who knew my dad and he said, "You should be working at a title company." I had no clue what that was, but got the job, immediately fell in love with the business. The following year, 1984, I got licensed through one of our cousin companies, Century 21, and I've been at it ever since. That was 41 years ago. So I've been blessed to have been on different sides of the business. I was very fortunate to have that experience in title, in coaching, in REO, in foreclosures, and what that allows me to do is kind of look at this at a transaction on a totally different level from totally different places. I have managed offices in the past for Coldwell Banker. I managed offices in Loudoun County, Fairfax County, recruited a lot of agents, helped a lot of agents. And one of the things that I absolutely love doing, of all the jobs I've had in the career over 41 years, I love coaching. I love to help somebody establish what they want to do, what their goals are, and then take them from point A to point B, from point A to point B. And, that journey, it will take a while. But if somebody follows the plan, they will achieve their goals. There's no question about it. So that's what I love doing. I left Coldwell Banker and came back. I wasn't with CBP, but I was with a CBR. And when I Coldwell Banker Premier, one of my goals is to change how we help our agents. I wanted to get... The company was doing so much already for the agents, but we wanted to add to it. We wanted to revamp how we onboard new agents. We wanted to revamp and get a mentor program into the action. So there's so much to be had and so much to be offered. We're offering coaching now to agents that come in. We're offering a mentor where that wasn't there before. We're offering a pretty robust orientation that shows everybody where to, how to, etc. So I think the talent that we have at this company is pretty amazing. And I always say, if we look around the room and put these heads together and have it as one person with all that background of all these people, that person can do miracles. And the reality is, we do have that person. We do have that entity. We're just separate people. So together we could do it. We can offer you what you need to do. So that's how I got in it.
So on that line of questioning, since you brought it up, what did make you choose Coldwell Banker Premier? Because I know we chatted for quite a while. It wasn't an overnight decision.
Yeah, and I was still at Coldwell Banker CBR at the time, the corporate side of the business. What I fell in love with is even though it's a Coldwell Banker brand, the way that it's being run and the agility, the ability to make decisions on the spot and not have to go through multiple layers of probably well-intended bureaucracy, the ability to be able to be hands-on as a non-competing agent, to a non-competing manager. That really attracted me to this company, and it was just a good timing on my part. It was perfect. I saw the growth that the company has made over the years. I've been watching the company for a long time, and I saw the growth. I saw where the company was going, and I realized at that time that with my skill set and where I want to go in the future, that I would be a really good fit for that position. And I was right. I love it. I love it here.
I would agree with that as well. You have been a valuable member of the team. So we are really thrilled to be expanding your presence and your influence in the company. So let's hear from Joanne, shall we? Joanne Cembrook, our new area manager of the West Virginia Panhandle. Tell us a little bit about your background. You have sort of a unique set of things that you've done.
I do. I've had a very eclectic careers along the way. I actually got licensed in real estate back in 1992. I was expecting my fourth baby. My mother, who was a broker, told me that the only way that I could support all the children that I've created was to get my real estate license. So I started out, she was my mentor. I worked under her. She was a top producer in Maryland at the time, in Montgomery County. I was licensed for about 10 years. Was a top producer back in Maryland in Montgomery County at that time. I left in 2002 because I had a really unique opportunity. It was really a once in a lifetime opportunity that presented itself to me. And it was to run a figure skating program in a new ice rink that had opened up in Rockville. So I took that because I just knew that, time was limited, that I was going to be able to do something like that. Did that, then went into interior decorating, ran a shop, which, a home decor, and started doing a little bit of staging. I actually had done some staging for agents previously when I was licensed, but as I had decorators coming into my shop and staging for realtors, that also opened up kind of a window for me to go and do that for other realtors as well. And I was thinking, I really miss it. I really miss that bit. I like the decorating and getting things ready for sale for people, but I really miss the follow through. So went and got licensed again. I did what my mother said, never let happen. I let my license go. So started from scratch, started up in West Virginia, then got all three of my licenses, West Virginia, then Maryland, and Virginia, within the first year that I was relicensed. I quickly became a top producer, was with Remax because that's what I knew previously. Decided that I really didn't want to have to pay all the fees that go along with being at 100% brokerage, and went over to Coldwell Banker. Went to Coldwell Banker, was there for about 2 years, I guess. And again, remaining a top producer within Coldwell Banker within my office, and then went to a small brokerage for a short time and came back.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So
Sure.
we've had several people in the company that have left and returned. As everybody knows, we pretty much have an open door policy. Unless you were just a terribly unethical person, we don't ever want to burn a bridge. People leave for different reasons. Everybody has their logic that they follow. So tell us a little bit about why you left and what you learned while you were gone and what made you come.
So the reason why I left is I felt that I really wasn't getting what I needed, but not at your level, not at the broker level. It was more at the office level. And I always equate it to, I felt like I was a house on stilts. Because I had the house, I had the business, I had the production, but what I didn't have were the foundational things that I needed to sustain with changing markets. So I ended up leaving, went to a small brokerage in West Virginia. All their business was in West Virginia. And I thought, this is going to be great because I have a great relationship with that broker. She's going to be able to teach me the things that I need to have to create that strong foundation. So I went to her and things were great. I mean, I learned a lot. I really did. The problem was that I found that when you're going to a small boutique brokerage and you're trying to go into these other areas, Northern Virginia, over into Frederick or Montgomery counties in Maryland, they go, who? So nobody knew who my broker was. Nobody knew my brokerage name. And I really felt kind of intimidated by that. They said, well, who do you work for? They had no idea. So I knew that I needed to get back with a big name. So I had that backing. Reached out to Steve, reached out to you, said, hey, I want to come back. And you guys welcomed me back with open arms. I think I was gone a total of 10 months. And it was a good 10 months for me because I really learned why I needed to be with CBP.
Hey, that's the best lesson to learn. I support that.
The
That's
grass
awesome.
is not always greener. It really is.
Yeah, and you've both have worked at other brokerages, and we're thrilled that you've finally chosen us as your hopefully final home. And so I'm of the opinion that moving around, obviously, sometimes you have to learn those lessons. You're on your own. I've done the same thing in my career. I made a jump to a different brokerage thinking they're going to be the answer to all my problems. And then I realized I was mostly the problem, or I wasn't using what I was given to use. So switching brokerages didn't really solve anything. My problems just followed me, and I had different problems at a different brokerage. But yeah, I'm a big proponent of finding the place that feels right for you. And a lot of that is.
As a manager, how can I speak to somebody who I'm talking to who's thinking about coming to Coldwell Banker? How can I speak to other brokerages or different structures of commissions unless I've lived myself through those different changes? Because I've gone with many different, I've been at 100%, and 100% is never 100%. And I will say that all day long. And I've been on a team, so I've seen how the team aspect works and kind of losing your identity in a team. And so I've had these different experiences, working in different brokerages. So that really helps me, I think, to come from a place of personal experience and be able to share.
That's awesome. I would agree. I like hearing it in your words, but I would agree. I think that gives you a very unique perspective. I know we've talked about that in past conversations, or you've even talked to other agents about that, where you're able to bring a different perspective. And I know Becky over in Delaware, same thing. Different brokerages, she's able to highlight and compare and contrast. Well, if this is what you're looking for, that brokerage is probably not going to be your best bet. Oh yeah, it's definitely nice to have that perspective. So, Harry, let's go back to you. How would you describe the value that you are bringing to the agents here at Coldwell Banker Premier?
I think what we provide and the value that I bring to the table is a lot of experience. And experience takes time, and time takes time. It's not something that you can buy, or it's not something that you can hurry. So that's one thing I bring to the table. The other thing I bring to the table is just the vast knowledge that I have from being in all these different industries put together that are related to what we. And one of the things that I love to do is coaching, is helping an agent start at one point, figuring out where they want to go, come up with a plan, and help them get there. And the joy I get out of helping someone do that is not something, again, you can buy. Most coaches don't do it for the money. We do it because we love helping other people. Most mentors don't do it for the money. They do it because they love helping people. I will tell you, Stephen, one of the things I love about our company is the culture. I absolutely love the culture. And you and I have talked about this before many times. That comes before anything else in any organization. It doesn't matter how talented somebody is. If they're not a good fit within the organizational's culture, it's not going to work out. So one of the things I absolutely love is the culture here. And I keep talking about that because it is the number one goal, is to spread the good word, spread the culture. And we're often asked, a lot of times I'll ask, what's your culture? What can you tell me in 3-4 words that defines who you are? And I will tell you, our culture is we are just nice people. We're nice. We help each other. No, we're good people. We want to do the next right thing when nobody's looking. So that defines the culture that I fell in love with, and something to build on.
That's awesome. So I know you've mentioned coaching several times. You're a Chris Leader coach, I believe. You're big into coaching. You've launched several coaching groups within the company. So how do you handle an agent who's happy with their business the way it is, so you're not bothering them? Like, what's your approach?
Well, look, there are different agents are at different stages of their career. Some are happy, some are not. Usually, the person that comes to me for coaching is usually somebody who is either not happy with the amount of money they're making, or they're happy with the amount of money they're making, but they're not happy with the amount of time that they put in order to generate that income. And my job as a coach is to figure out how I can help them with either propositions. Look, if you're happy and if you're producing and you're happy with the amount of time that, look, you don't need me. If you're successful, you built it without me, you don't need me. Okay, obviously, you don't need me for your success. But if you want help, I'm here to help you. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave you alone. It means that I'm still going to talk to you. I'm going to see if you still need help. But this is something that the agent has to want it more than me, Stephen. That's the thing about coaching. Okay, I'm not going to go chase people. Okay, everybody knows what we offer. Everybody knows what we have, and it's well proven. And it's a voluntary program, but so is AIR. AIR is voluntary.
Well, and I'll tell a quick story since you brought culture up. It is so important. We were at a leadership summit for Coldwell Banker a few years ago in Boston. And leadership is hands down the absolute best event they do all year. It's just amazing. And they had a speaker there. He was the coach, I think it was UConn women's basketball. So a pretty famous coach, Gino, I think was his name. And he told a story and it stuck with me. And it's about culture. And it says, like, let's say, picture that you have a vat of raw sewage and a bottle of fine wine. And let's say you have an eyedropper and you take an eyedropper of that fine wine and you put it into the sewage. What do you have? You have a vat of sewage. Now let's say you take the eyedropper and you take a bit of that sewage and you put it in the bottle of wine. What do you have? You have a bottle of sewage. It takes a tiny, tiny amount of bad juju, I guess, a bad ingredient to ruin a culture. And so that's why it's so important that we focus on culture because, you guys, you agents, you have a lot of choices on where you can work. I feel like an airline right now. Thanks for choosing us. But, we don't take that lightly. We know there are lots of brokerages out there that offer tools and services, but if we don't have a good culture and we're not maintaining that culture, that's our fault. And so it is very important. So when we make changes, when we hire staff, when we hire management, anything like that, hiring agents, we're very picky. It's got to be a good fit. Teresa will tell you if she talks to an agent, they're not a good match for our culture, pass. She moves on. We're not going to fill our rosters with people who are going to be the sewage in our wine. So I think you're 100% right. Culture is so important. Yes. So switching back to Joanne, I would love to hear, Joanne, how would you describe the value that you're going to be bringing to our agents?
So what I'm going to be doing, Stephen, is providing support to the agents. I want them to know that they're going to be supported, covered. They can come to me at any time if they have issues, if they need help with a showing, whatever it is, I'm there to help them with that. I want to provide a culture within the office that is one that they want to come and be a part of. I want them to come into the office and be excited to be there. Spend a little less time at home, maybe come into the office and let's see each other, talk to each other, because that's really where we learn what's going on. That's where we learn what's coming up on the market. That's where, we're talking about the changes that are happening in our industry. We're not going to discuss those changes if we're all sitting at home in our home offices. So that's one of the things that's really important to me. I also, and I said this today in our office meeting here in Berkeley Springs, my personal goal is to see us become number one in the Panhandle. And I really think that we can achieve that because we have a lot of very talented agents in the Panhandle. I want to get more. I want to get some new agents in here. We're continuing to grow. And, it's really important to me that everybody kind of feel like we're as one. And I don't mean just West Virginia, I'm talking entire quad. So that we're feeling as one because together we will do better as individuals. And that's kind of what my goal is.
Absolutely. Speaking of coming into the office, I 100% agree. I mean, I'm sitting in an office today. Sometimes I work at home. Sometimes I come into the office. I love coming into the office. I love collaborating. And that's been a it's been a challenge. COVID kind of sent
Mhm.
us all home, and then it's been hard to get back in the habit of coming in. And I
Mhm.
know, you were one of those agents that we didn't see much during COVID. You stayed at home with your animals, and
Mhm.
we joined virtually, but we didn't see you physically in the office much. So I would love to hear from your perspective, because I think that was maybe one of the factors that took you to that smaller brokerage, because you were wanting that camaraderie, you were wanting that togetherness or whatever. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
That's exactly right. First of all, during COVID, what happened was my daughter had a baby and I became the babysitter. So I don't even know how I did it, but I remained a top producer through COVID and after COVID with babysitting an infant and then a toddler with two kids all day long so that my daughter could work. So it was difficult for me to get out and come into the office. During COVID, it was for everybody. And I think we went into our cocoons. It was really easy just to not really go anywhere. But what I did love about the small brokerage that I went to was that it was buzzing. You walk in the office and people are talking and they're people, they're people. You see people. And I really missed that. And I think that's one of the things that's just also really important to me is to see people in the office because, I can call an agent on the phone, I can email them. It's just not the same thing as if you're having a face to face.
I do miss those. I miss the days of people in the office.
Mhm.
It was just personally, especially as a newer agent, I found incredible value in just being around the other top producers, and not even top producers, just other people doing the same things I'm doing, dealing with the same struggles I'm dealing with, having the same problems that I've had. We would help each other talk through stuff, and I would learn just as much as they would. I love that. I love the collaboration, and we're such a collaborative company, and I'm glad we've been able to shift to a virtually collaborative
Mhm.
platform, but do love being together. I think the event we had in Delaware recently was just awesome to have so many
Mhm.
people in the same from all over the company. It was so great. I just really, really enjoyed that. So we're
It really
hopefully we'll
was.
be more of that.
And what happened
So
after we all left that? We were all pumped. We all left like,
yeah,
let's go get it,
we,
and
yeah, we
and
fed off of each other. Everyone was so excited. So we definitely need more of that. So I will ask you this question first, and then I'll ask Harry. Change can be a little unsettling. We're in a very atypical market right now. None of us have ever navigated anything like this. I mean, even Steve and I, who've been in the business a long time, Harry, 40 years in the business, none of us have ever seen anything like this as far as the NAR stuff and just everything. But then as a company, we've changed. We've grown. That growth comes with some growing pains. The thing that we say about some of our processes is if I'm not breaking the system, I'm not using it hard enough. So, we're constantly breaking our toys and refixing them and making them better. But change can be unsettling for some. So I would love to hear what you would say to someone who maybe has some misgivings or is approaching this new structure, the new management structure, with a little bit of caution. Like, how would you allay their fears?
I can understand it. I understand that change is always difficult. Even, it can be like if you've been happy before, you're worried about somebody else coming in, rocking the boat and really trying to shake things up. Even if you've been in a situation where maybe you weren't the happiest, change is scary because you don't know if you're going to be worse or with someone else coming in. But I will tell you, I don't bite and I'm a good listener. I am somebody who's going to be there for you if you need me. I'm not going to be breathing down your neck to find out why you're not producing or, why you're not making enough phone calls. I'm more likely to say like, hey, is there something going on? Is there something I can help you with? Because I do like to help people. And that's kind of why I wanted to transition into this role of leadership. I love real estate. I will never get out of real estate because it's literally in my blood. But I felt like it was really time for me to go to a different position within real estate. And that was one of supporting and helping this company grow. It's all going to be good. I'm not going to come in and, make changes right away. I don't even know what's going to change. Right now, I'm just kind of listening. I'm listening to people. I want to hear what they have to say. Agent input is really critical to me because having been an agent, I still am an agent, but I want to know what the agents want.
So you just mentioned, you are still an agent, you are still a producing agent. Some people may question, oh, they hired a top producer as a manager. That's not something they usually do. That's not something we have normally done. But I want you to kind of speak to anyone that might be concerned about that.
So I will never compete with any of the agents in the offices at all, with anybody. Really, at this point of the last couple of years, I really have just worked on referral. So I get a lot of referrals, not a lot, but I get referrals from the office that I used to work in Maryland. I mean, this goes back, I have 35 plus year relationships with some of these people. I get referrals, if they have somebody that's moving up to the area. And really at this point, I'm just working my sphere. That's it. I have past clients who need to move. They reach out. I'm going to help them. But my focus is on growing and supporting the Panhandle offices.
Excellent. And for those of you who are maybe newer to the company, our managers are considered non-competing because they do not take floor time, they do not take leads from the company, so they do sell because it's important to still have your finger on the pulse of the industry. It's important to know the contract changes and to know what's going on out there in your local markets. The managers do not take business from our agents. That is across the board. Even our managers who are very successful producers, it's all self-generated business. It is not anything they're taking from you. They're not stealing opportunities from you as agents. So that's important to know. That is a distinction in how we have our managers structured versus some other companies. I just wanted to point that out. So I would love to hear from Harry on this topic because he's had a little more time to acclimate. Poor Joanne is maybe 2 weeks in. I don't even know if it's been 2 full weeks. Harry's been with us a week. It's been a week. Harry's been with us a little while, but you took over the Cumberland office when Seth decided he wanted to just go back into sales, which was a great move for him. And so you had to deal with a lot of change. We had recently merged with the Cumberland office. They are still getting used to us. And now we bring in a new manager. So how have you been able to, sort of, I don't say win them over, but like get them to embrace you? And then how do you see the changes in the Panhandle going?
First of all, let's talk about change in general, Stephen. Change is really the norm. There is no such thing as static. I don't believe that there's such thing as standstill. We're either moving forward or moving backwards. I'm one of those believers. So change is really the norm if you choose to go forward, and change is the norm if you choose to go backwards. So change is inevitable, and our industry is no exception to that. I've seen a lot of changes in our industry and will continue to see a lot of changes in our industry. I have to say this is a big change that we're going through in our industry in general, but I will tell you this, every single challenge we've come across in the last 40 years, we've been able to overcome. Once upon a time, sellers had to come to the table with money. Once upon a time, sellers were taking back notes. Once upon a time, realtors were taking back notes as commissions. We dealt with whatever it is that was put in front of us. As far as helping agents with the change, the best thing that I would recommend for anybody who's trying to influence any kind of a change is to listen what people have to say. Because we all come from different places. We all have different concerns. Somebody might be concerned that I'm coming in and I don't know anybody. Others might be concerned that, and others might be just elated. But change is inevitable. And that's what I say all the time. When I got to start group coaching immediately, when I got to see the agents, I met with them one-on-one, and I assured them that I'm there to help them. And after I assured them that I'm there to help them, I proved that I'm there to help. And with any change, there's going to come a lot of adjustments. But the good news is you don't have to do it alone. That's the beautiful part. In fact, I don't know anybody who does it alone. I didn't. I don't. So change can be good. Change can be beneficial. But I will tell you, in the market that we're in and the market that we're coming upon, if you choose not to change, your business is going to suffer, and chances are you're going to suffer as well. That's about as blunt as I can be about change. Change is inevitable. Yeah. So that's my
You'd
take
be
on it,
moving
Stephen.
backwards, not
Absolutely.
forwards.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So wrapping up with Harry, what do you do in your spare time? I know spare time's a joke in this business, but when you do get 5 minutes, what do you enjoy doing?
Well, let's go with the geeky side first, then I'll go to the fun side. I actually love to write. I write a lot of curriculum for CE classes and workshops, etc. I distribute it to various associations, so that's one of the things I love to do. I also love to I wrote a book. I'm a writer. I wrote a book and got it published in 2018. It's called The Victory Within. It's on Amazon. It's in different associations throughout the DMV area. And basically, it talks about, a little bit about my biography, who I am, and what I've come through. My battle. But the rest of the book is basic. Some of it is real estate, but it's mostly success principles, basic success principles. So I love that I was able to do that. That was a bucket list item for me. I'm working on a second book now that has to do with habits. So we're looking at a 2015, 2016 publication on that. I love to travel. I'm a huge traveler. I've traveled all over the world and continue to do so. And no regrets and no apologies. I love to travel, and that's what I do. I have 4 children, 3 grandchildren, a beautiful wife who put up with me all these years, and yeah, it's all good stuff.
And fur babies.
Oh yeah, plenty of fur
babies
babies.
too.
Yeah, we're really big. I used to foster all sorts of creatures, Stephen. I even had a goat one time that I fostered. It's on my Facebook. Go check it out. Baby goat.
That's awesome. Yeah, Harry goes to some really interesting places, not places I would probably go because I don't like the cold. And he's like on the Polar Express and going to the Arctic Circle. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah,
Me, I don't do too hot and I don't do too cold, and so neither of those extremes appeals to me. So Joanne, we would love to hear what you do in your spare time.
Stephen, you know what I do in my spare time. I'm shoveling poop.
Well, I'm not talking about being a manager. I'm talking about what you do at your house.
Make sure that goes in there, Stephen.
In my spare time, let's see. When do I have spare time? I have a lot of animals. I have a lot. In fact, I think I counted it up on my way here this morning. I think I have 37 mouths every morning that are waiting for me to be fed. Yes, it's true. And that's just 4-legged things. That's not even the 2-legged things. So in my spare time, I like to spend time with my animals. I've done donkey rescue in the past. I have 2 of those donkeys that are with me now. They were actually born at my property. I have goats, chickens, 2 horses, 2 bearded dragons, because I like reptiles too, a couple cats, a few dogs, and, they keep me busy. But that's in addition to my family. My family is number one for me. I've got 3 grown daughters. I've got 5 grandkids, 1 on the way. So, that's it. And I like to fish. It's a new hobby for me. I like to do that. And shovel, you know what?
Yeah. Well, being that you do donkey rescue, that is a very, I think, translatable skill. So for all of you who have difficult transactions, Joanne is used to dealing with jackasses. So she'll be able to help with that. Anyway, thank you both for this. I am so excited. I can say on behalf of Steve as well, we are really thrilled with just our management team in general across the whole company. Like, we really feel like we've got a rock star team. We've made some adjustments, some of them painful, some of them just natural changes, but we do it all to make it a better company for you guys, to make it so you can make money and support your families, because that's what it's all about. It's about us all having lives that we can live the way we want to live them. So that is what Harry and Joanne are here for. They are here to support your business the way you need it to be supported. They're not here to tell you what to do. They're not here to change how you do your business unless you want to change how you do your business. And then in which case, they're the perfect people to help you. So as always, you have layers and layers and layers of support within the company. You've got Joanne, you've got Harry, you've got your admins in the Panhandle, Tabitha and Krista, best of the best. And Grace, I know Grace has some of the contracts and stuff for those of you who are selling in like Virginia and things. We have just an amazing team. And then, of course, you have our fearless leader, Steve. He's always a phone call away. That's the one thing I can proudly say about this company is don't think agents can honestly say there's no one to help them. If you're saying that, it's maybe because you didn't try hard enough, you didn't call enough people, because there's always someone that's going to help you in this company. We're a phone call and email away. We're here to support each other, whether it's an agent, a manager, a staff person, anything. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what we've built, and I'm so happy that both of you are on our team. And I look forward to the amazing things we're going to accomplish in the Panhandle and across the whole company. So thank you for your time.
Thank
you guys
Stephen.
have questions.
Thank you.
I encourage you to reach out to Joanne and Harry. Talk to them. They're not going to bite hard, but they're definitely the types of people that are going to listen. And if they can help, they will absolutely do it. If they can't, they'll try to find out who can. So I really encourage you guys to interact with them, and let's keep the culture going that we've worked so hard to build. So thank you all, and have a wonderful day.